The holidays are here, and maybe you're like me and prime rib is not at the top of your list. Check out this guy. This is a 30-day dry prime New York strip as a roast. We cooked it on the Kamado with some cherry wood. It's gonna be delicious. Let's get into it. What's up, barbecue fans? My name is Jake, and today we've got this 30-day dry-aged New York strip roast. And I gotta be honest with you, right out of the gate, I've already called an audible. When I envisioned this video, I wanted to do it rotisserie, direct over the coals there, and get a nice crust on the outside, and it sounded delicious in my head, and it would be delicious. The challenge is you get that big old hole through the center of your roast, and I just don't want that for this one. I've called an audible. We're gonna do a little bit differently. Like I said, this is a 30-day dry-aged piece of prime beef. It's an expensive kind of meat. I wanna enjoy it and not have that big old hole through there just for presentation purposes. It just looks terrible. So we're gonna call a little bit of an audible here. What I've done here is about 35 minutes ago, we fired up our Kamado. We've got some Bear Mountain cherry chunks in there and some coffee lump. You can get that from Kamado's website, but it's got an amazing flavor for beef. And what I did there is I put one chunk below, a bunch of lump on top, and then one lump or one big chunk on top of the lump. And smoke's still kind of clearing out a little bit. I mean, it's usable right now because it's been about 35 minutes since I did that. But it was a big old piece on top, so it's gonna smoke for a little bit. And I'm just letting it come up in temperature. We are at, let me get my phone out here. So the birds are happy. How you doing, fella? We are at 273.5 degrees. I'm doing my first couple cooks on the new ThermoWorks RFX product. We've got a probe here. I actually have two probes. My other one's right here, and I've got a cook going on the Yoder, and then I've got the gateway here, and I'm using the grate level pit probe for my temperatures here, so I know exactly where I'm at. You can see that my prime rib over here is 83.5 degrees, and this one we have not activated yet. We are going to take this guy out. There we go. And what I'm going to do, I want to get the middle, so I'm going to kind of go on an angle here underneath the rope, like so. We go on a little bit more of an angle there. There we go. And you'll see that I'm at 44 degrees. We're going to tap that. I'm going to tap it one more time, and I'm going to set this at 115, and then we'll track this. So with this piece of meat, I got it out of the package about 22 hours ago, and I put some W sauce on it and some Cattleman's Grill Roadhouse steak and beef rub. This stuff is quite tasty. Again, I've got a discount code for atbbq.com. Rum and Cook 11 will save you 11% off of rubs, marinades, spices, that kind of thing. But that's where I get that from, and we gave it a really, really heavy coating, as you can see, because I want to pack some flavor into this guy, and I put it on a cooling rack in the bottom of the fridge for 22 hours. Now what we're going to do is we're going to throw this guy on the Kamado. I'm going to cook at 275, which is a little higher than a reverse sear. We're starting a little later, if you can't tell by the lighting, and I want to get it up to about 115 before we do some next steps. We're still going to get some of that direct fire cooking, but we're going to do it slightly differently. Let's get this guy on the Kamado. I'm going to put this guy lengthwise here, and you can see here's my pit probe. So we're watching temperatures at the grate level. Don't care about dome temp. I want to know what we're cooking at the grate level, and we're just going to let this guy go. We're going to let that guy go for a little while, probably a couple hours, until it gets, well, maybe not a couple hours. It is about 4.5 pounds to give you an idea, so probably an hour and a half to 2 hours. We'll see. We're at 275. That coffee wood lump and the cherry wood is going to give it a delicious flavor. The cherry wood will also give it some nice color. I'm going to cook it to 115, and I'll bring you back when we get there. All right, so according to our RFX meat thermometer, we just hit 117.2. We got to pull this guy off. It did alert me at 115. Oof, I haven't even opened this thing. That is looking good. Let me get this guy out of here. Don't drop it. Don't drop it. Smelling good, looking good. Here's your full look at this guy. Good color all the way around. Damn, it's hot. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna let this carry over for a little bit. I'm gonna loosely tent it with foil and we're gonna let it sit for about 15 minutes. So we just hit 129.2 and we're starting to fall off right where I want it to be. I like my beef around 130, 132, somewhere in there. If you like it more rare than that, pull it off at 110 or 105, let it carry over and then proceed to the next step. What we've done here is I've opened up the vents a little bit. We're just a tick below 500. We're using the top grate, right? So I'm up at this level still. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pull this guy out. Yes, it can handle the temperature, but it's headed on the top side, so it's gonna be in the way a little bit. And what I'm gonna do now is we're going to put this directly over the fire and just a minute or so aside, I'm gonna keep flipping it and just to get some color on here and a little bit of extra flavor. And there you have it. There's the finished product. Got just a little color on the outside. That rub added some nice texture on the outside. What we're gonna do now is we're just gonna let this cool off for about 5 minutes. Been 5 minutes, let's see how we did. Pull this guy off the plate. And this has string going across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna keep the string on. When you're serving this, you would take the string off, but I'm gonna keep it together as it sits right now because this is gonna be my dinner. I'm gonna have a little taste test with you guys. But I got some mashed potatoes I'm working on inside and some green beans and a little sauce. And I'm gonna have a little bit just to taste it, but I'm really gonna have it in the inside. There's our final product. Looking just a tad bit moist. Exactly what we want. Loving it. Cut a little piece off here. The dogs are already around me. Don't worry, you guys will get some. You know, Dad always takes care of you guys. Let's just cut some up right now for you. Cut a couple other pieces. But Dad gets to go first. Really good flavor. If you can't tell, I'm stuffed up. So my taste buds are a little bit off, but you can definitely taste a little bit of cherry wood smoke in there, and that seasoning on the outside really pops. Remember, this is a New York strip, right? Going to eat more like a steak than a super, super tender prime rib. But in my opinion, it's got a little bit more beefy flavor to it. And all I do is I slice it thin, put it on a plate, and away you go. If prime rib is more your speed, check out this video right here. Thanks as always for watching. If you got some value out of it, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you soon.